All right, welcome to Los Angeles. It is really getting hot and heavy here, and the crowds are coming in, and this is it. Hours to go. We're to the third and final debate. I just didn't know that it was tonight. Time slips by. Anyway, one of the things you always hear for the Trump, this is it. This is where they've got to make their case because they're in a world of polling hurt. But when I caught up with Curt Schilling, of course, the famous Boston Red Sox, whatever. Anyway, one of the issues he raised is that, Neil, don't believe that. Just don't believe those numbers. The great underreporting, as it's known. Curt Schilling on that. Take a look. Curt, that's been your feeling, that support is underrepresented in the polls, right?
Well, I think it's intentionally underrepresented. You mentioned 48 and 80, the elections. Those were very different times in the world and in the country. They didn't have. There wasn't a media dead set against one candidate like we have now, and that to me is the overriding factor because as the world that I'm out in is not reflective of what the polls are saying. And that, to me, is probably as important as anything. I don't think lightning has to strike in a bottle. I think you're going to see what amounts to political revolution on the 8th. I think that there's an enormous amount of Trump supporters that are either not being polled or not coming out as Trump supporters during the surveys. And James Carville said, I think about a month and a half ago, that Democrats were being oversampled like 15 to 25%. I see no reason why the media would change that narrative because for all intents and purposes, I think the American people believe the media wants to get Hillary Clinton elected no matter what.
All right, let's say that's the case, and let's say that these polls understate Donald Trump's support. Do they understate it that much? Because naturally, depending on how they roll out to us, Curt, there's 7 to 10 point gaps there. That would be a lot of ground to make up.
Well, I guess I would ask you, Neil, in the last 10 to 12 days, or 2 weeks during the slippage in the polls, what's happened to cause him to lose support? The two tapes, but daily we've gotten affirmation that Hillary Clinton's exactly what we believe she was.
Yeah, but that's getting ignored in the media. No, I agree with what you're saying, but that is getting ignored in the media. The Trump stuff gets a lot of attention, not the her stuff.
You're right. There was a report the other day. There was a 66-minute news cycle on, I believe it was MSNBC or CNN, and the Trump tapes got 23 minutes of coverage, and WikiLeaks got 28 seconds. So, yeah, I get it.
You're right. It is a lopsided. Let me ask you though about that. We're seeing that the media has been collectively guilted in, maybe because we've been pounding this in balance with every other story, to at least report more of this. And it will likely come up in the debate. So if you're Donald Trump and you want to look at this two different Hillarys, evidence these WikiLeaks, how would you do it?
Well, I think that tonight the mandate's very clear. If you're not talking about the horror that she's inflicted in 26 years, or specifically what you're going to do to fix it, don't talk. Don't talk. I think that he should open up tonight by saying, listen, I'm gonna start off tonight's debate before I answer the first question by saying, you know what, I'm sorry. I'm a grown man. Stuff has come to light. I've clearly said things that I shouldn't have said, inappropriate, disrespectful. There was no place where they were appropriate. I apologize. But I need to focus on what we're talking about, and the issue is it's going to be her or me. For 26 years, this woman's been about herself. It's been about stealing, lying, corruption, and all the things that WikiLeaks is proving to us. Not for 1 second has she ever made a decision that would put country before herself. And I think people need to understand that that's what we're talking about.